Hi there guys, Sam here. So yeah, I just wanted to do, as the title suggests, just to go through, I guess, some of the bad points of the car and the good points of the car that I've kind of picked up on and noticed. Just little things to kind of go over, a bit of a mashup, I suppose, between the two, just from the experience of me driving it. I've clocked up about 2,500 miles there or thereabouts in this car so far. And yeah, just some points. Again, I always tend to compare it to my last car, but then that's my kind of idea of, well, that's just based on my sort of car experience, basically. But I'm going to start with the bad points. It's always good to get the bad points out of the way. One thing is it kind of, it mists up. I know it's kind of like a weird one to say, but I'll spin the camera around. So obviously you just get your front screen here, obviously. And yeah, it basically just mists up really easily. Not something I had from the Fiesta ST. It's, I know it's wet, it's cold, whatever, and cars will steam up. And I just found it does it quite quickly, and it takes a little bit long, even on full blast, to get rid of it. Just something I didn't really get in the Fiesta at all. Certainly if it did, just whack it up and it would go away, even from sort of a cold start. I don't know if it's just because of the size of the car, but that's just one little gripe. If you want an all-rounder, it's got it. If you want to go and have fun, whether it's on your own or whether it's with friends or whether it's with family or whatever, I don't think it's that kind of level of fun. Even today I've gone out for a nice fun drive, and it's great, and the acceleration is ridiculous, but the weight of the car, I think, lets it down a little bit, personally, just over my experience of driving it. I know it's got a lot of power, but yeah, it's just, in the corners it will go around faster, miles faster than my Fiesta ST. But you don't really notice it, even in kind of race mode, where you get the noise and you get the crackles as well. It's I guess it can kind of get a little bit tiring, and kind of get up to speed, and it's like, yep, that was great, but you've got up to speed so quickly, the enjoyment's then kind of gone. You're not kind of scrabbling at the wheel, you're kind of just like, it's just planted and solid, and I suppose quite German, really, quite VW. And that kind of, for me, you lose a bit of the fun. And I guess the Club Sport S, the limited run one, it's front wheel drive, it's got the same power, everyone raves about it, everyone thinks it's the best thing ever, basically. Brakes wise, I don't think it's too much different. Brake horsepower wise, it's not any different. Manual gearbox wise, I don't think it's that much different. I don't know some of the specifics around it. So what's the difference? The difference is this has four-wheel drive, this weighs an extra 150 kilos or whatever it is more, and you lose the fun as a result of that. I know it also doesn't have rear seats, but regardless, you lose the fun from that. Yeah, and that's kind of my kind of bad points, just the initial stuff on the Golf. And I'll be honest, I've said it before, I'm very much kind of thinking, if I've had more fun in the Fiesta, should I go back and get a Fiesta? I mean, it's just something I guess I'm going to have to think through. But yeah, those are, to be fair, those are really the only bad points I've picked up. I'll go straight into the good points. The good points is, this car, I mean, it's on about 3,900 miles now. There's not a rattle, there's not a squeak, there's not an issue. It's faultless. It's faultless. It's so quiet in here as well. You can be cruising on the motorway, 3 people in the car, you can easily have a conversation, and it's just so easy. It's like, it's just so nice and quiet, and it's such a relaxing car to be in. And compared again to the Fiesta, I'd be doing journeys on the motorway, you try and have a conversation with someone, you'd hear tyre noise, it would just be a bit noisier at certainly 70 miles an hour. Yeah, which obviously isn't that great, and a big plus on this car. Some of the convenient stuff this car's got, with the lights, how it lights up the right, lights up the left when you turn left, turn right. The lights themselves are so bright in dark unlit roads, it really is good. really is fantastic. The navigation, the radio, everything, it's just so well laid out, and it works really, really well. The gearbox, nothing wrong with it. The clutch is nice and light. The brakes are so confidence inspiring. You know, kind of whatever speeds you're doing, obviously drive to the conditions and drive to the speeds of the road, but with the whole four-wheel drive grip, and you know you've got the brakes behind it, it does give you a lot of confidence and a lot of stability, over, certainly probably over the Fiesta. Yeah, and it's such a good item. The seats, good in parts. I mean, they take up less space, so you get a little bit more space in the back. They're not as big and bulky, so it's a little bit easier to get in and out of a free door. For me, I actually find them slightly uncomfortable. I don't know why. On long journeys, I've found myself getting out of them and kind of feeling it. Even though the suspension, I know the suspension's a lot softer over bumpy roads, and it's comfortable for that. I don't know, maybe I've moulded myself into the Recaros and the Fiesta over sort of the 4 years I owned it and the 40,000 miles. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to kind of monitor that one. I mean, if I tell you in another sort of 4 or 5 months' time I'm still finding the seats uncomfortable, I'm probably going to blame the seats. I think it would have given me enough time to adapt. On top of that, I suppose the good stuff is I go back to kind of the safety stuff. I like the front camera, how it brakes for me, progressively brakes for me, made things, you know, it's obviously going to help if you're in a sort of a low speed crash, or even when you're getting up to speed, when you're doing high speeds, it will sort of be scanning the road, it will be helping you out. All of that included, you do lose some of that engagement. You lose the engagement from the car, really. Again, why I went for a manual, to try and get it as engaging as a Golf R could be. But safety wise, and you know, if I'd got it in 5-door as well, practicality, it'd be fine. I keep going back to the bad points halfway through this. Boot space is not good. It's not good. When the seats are down, no problem, it's nice and wide, you can get loads of stuff in there. But with a spare wheel and the fact that it's raised with the 4-wheel drive, it's really tight back there. You know, I've had like, I had like my football gear, I had like my work bag and all sorts of bits, and I just wanted to take like a bag of balls from the 5-side game we were playing, take them home. There's barely enough, there's literally no room in there. And I'm just sort of like, you know, I'd get it in the Fiesta. The Fiesta kind of dipped down, so it's a bit of a weird one, because it's a big car. It's certainly spacious and airy, and yet the boot is just, it's not really that great. I'm kind of ending on a sort of badder points of the car, really, but yeah, trying to gel with the car a little bit more, and I think time will kind of tell, really. It's certainly a great, I suppose, to me it's kind of like a great item. It's like, it just kind of can do everything, and it can do it well, and it's a secure, safe kind of car. It doesn't necessarily, you know, I don't know what you guys are like. You look back at your car and you think, oh, you know, I've got a good looking car there, it looks cool, puts a smile on my face, and this car does. But I'll look back and I'll look at the front and I'll just be like, kind of looks like a Golf. It looks like a, you know, 1.6 diesel Golf, and that's kind of like, well, I would like it just a little bit better. The back looks great, the lights look great, the exhaust look great, and even the wheels I think look great. I've already mentioned the gripe about the rust on the wheels, which isn't good enough really, but I've said that before. Yeah, it's good and bad points to every car. Overall, it's a fantastic car. But then I would expect it, for kind of the money you're kind of paying for it, you would want that. But yeah, I've said it before, is it that step above a Fiesta ST? Is it that step above, you know, another kind of hot hatch? I'm not so sure. But yeah, I may change my mind, who knows. But I'll end on a positive, because when you're having fun, and you get in this car and you're kind of on it and you're down a twisty road in the rain, this is definitely the most fun I've had in the rain. The 4-wheel drive grip, I mean, it's raining at the moment already. It rains just all the time, and you're just sort of like moving. You know, you can be doing sort of like 50, 60 down a back road, and it's just so much fun. You just know it just grips, and the weight of the car then helps, and everything comes into your kind of advantage. It helps on like the potholes, the suspension's better, and it's so fantastic in those kind of areas. And then the fact it does the other side, you can cruise on the motorway in comfort. It's pretty much most of what I wanted to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. I'll be sure to put some more stuff up. Certainly just, again, more of my ownership of this car. Certainly coming into the winter months now, it's going to be more rain, more, yeah, and who knows, even snow when we get into December or January. And this is where this car is basically going to be at its best, and yeah, I look forward to kind of enjoying it, yeah, and sharing it with you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.